So, have you ever wondered what really happened to the lost colony of Roanoke? It's one of
Oh,
history's
absolutely.
greatest mysteries.
Yeah, it's like this puzzle that no one can solve. I mean, an entire colony just vanishes.
Exactly. Back in 1585, Sir Walter Raleigh sent settlers to Roanoke Island.
Right.
It was supposed to be England's foothold in the New World.
And Queen Elizabeth gave him that charter, didn't she?
Yes, on March 25th, 1584. It allowed him to establish a colony, but if he failed, he'd lose the right forever.
Talk about pressure.
Right? So Raleigh's initial expedition, Amadas and Barlow, met the local tribes, the Secretans and the Croatans.
Yeah.
They even brought back Manteo and Wanchese to England.
Oh, I remember that. They shared valuable info about the land and people.
Exactly. But then, in 1585, Richard Grenville led another group, and things started to go south.
How so?
Well, they faced storms, navigational issues, and ended up damaging their ship, the Tiger.
And didn't they have that conflict over a missing silver cup?
Yes, they accused the people of Aquascogok of stealing it.
Oh, man.
In retaliation, they burned the entire village down.
Not exactly the best way to make friends.
No, not at all. So relations deteriorated. Grenville left Ralph Lane with 107 men, promising to return with supplies. But with dwindling resources and hostile natives, things got tough.
Then Sir Francis Drake shows up, right?
Yes, in 1586. He offered them passage back to England.
Gotcha.
And they accepted. So when Grenville finally returned, he found an empty colony.
And he left behind a small crew before heading back.
Exactly. Then in 1587, John White tried to establish a new colony, this time including women and children. His granddaughter, Virginia Dare, became the first English child born in North America.
A significant milestone indeed. But didn't they plan to settle elsewhere initially?
They did. They intended to go to the Chesapeake Bay area, but the fleet commander, Simon Fernandez, forced them to stay at Roanoke.
That's
No one
strange.
knows why he did that.
That seems suspicious. So what happened next?
Well, tensions with the Native Americans were high, partly due to previous conflicts.
Understandable.
After George Howe was killed while crabbing, they urged White to return to England for help.
Wait, wasn't Howe attacked by locals?
Yes, exactly. His death escalated fears among the colonists.
And then the war with Spain delayed White's return, didn't it?
Exactly. The Spanish Armada caused a massive naval mobilization, and he couldn't get back until 1590.
That's a long time.
When he finally returned, the colony was deserted.
And all they found was Croatoan carved into a tree?
Yes, and CRO on another. No signs of a struggle, and the buildings were dismantled, indicating a planned move.
But they didn't leave the agreed-upon distress signal.
Exactly. So White believed they had moved to Croatoan Island.
Makes
but
sense.
severe storms prevented him from searching further.
That's incredibly unfortunate. So what are the theories about their disappearance?
Well, one is that they integrated with local tribes, like the Croatans. There were reports of native people with European features and English words in their language.
But isn't there a lack of concrete evidence?
True, it's mostly anecdotal, but some families in North Carolina claim descent from the colonists. Legislative actions even recognize these communities.
And what about Chief Powhatan's claim that he killed them?
He told John Smith he had them executed to eliminate a threat.
Right.
But some historians think he might have exaggerated to intimidate the English.
That's a good point. So we can't be sure about his account either.
Exactly. Then there's the drought theory. Tree ring studies show a severe drought from 1587 to 1589.
Wow.
It could have forced them to relocate inland seeking resources.
Plausible. But I heard some suggest they tried sailing back and were lost at sea.
That's another theory. They did have small ships, but whether they attempted such a voyage is uncertain.
True. You know, maybe it's a combination of factors.
Absolutely. It's like a perfect storm of misfortunes.
Exactly.
And each possibility adds a piece to the puzzle.
But don't you think we're sometimes overcomplicating it? Could it be they simply didn't survive the harsh conditions?
That's entirely possible. The New World was unforgiving. But the mystery persists because we lack definitive evidence.
True. It's the lack of closure that fuels all these theories.
Exactly. And until we find conclusive proof, it'll remain one of history's great enigmas.
Can't argue with that. So what's the lesson here?
Maybe it's a testament to the risks early explorers took.
Absolutely.
Their stories, solved or unsolved, shaped the course of history.
Well said. Here's hoping future discoveries shed light on the mystery.
Agreed. Until then, we'll keep speculating.
Definitely. So, any other historical puzzles on your mind?
Plenty, but let's save those for next time.
Sounds like a plan.